All right, ladies and gentlemen, the warm-up is complete. Welcome to the first match of the 2018 USBC Super Senior Classic Stepladder Final. Featuring a number 3 and number 4 seed. As with all matches of this nature, the higher seed has choice of starting lane. Mr. Hepps has allowed Mr. Nelson to go first. Mr. Nelson, when the arrows are up, full 7 pins. The lanes are yours. Good luck, gentlemen. Good bowling.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to BowlTV. My name is Matt Cannizzaro, alongside Super Senior standout Bruce Hall here at Samstown Bowling Center. It's time for the Stepladder Finals of the 2018 Super Senior Classic. Again, here in Las Vegas, Samstown Bowling Center, the backdrop for this event in 2016 and 17, and now again in 2018. Our opening match of our 4-player Stepladder will feature Warren Nelson against Benny Hapes. Warren coming from the West Coast, Benny from the Southeast. The winner will advance to face our number 2 seed, Marc Williams, the PBA Hall of Famer from Beaumont, Texas. And the winner there will bowl for the title against top seed Mike Diaz, USBC Gold Coach from Lafayette, Colorado. Those are the details. We'll let you know how we got to this point as these matches unfold here on lanes 21 and 22 at Samstown Bowling Center. Bruce Hall, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Great to be here, Matt. And it's just a bucket list item to be on with you here.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you for all of your valuable insight during the group step ladders and all the things you saw from in front of the cameras this week at Samstown. Folks, we'll get our first look here at Benny Hapes. Again, hailed from the Milwaukee area, moved to Alabama to coach collegiately. So he knows how to get it done on the lanes, and he's got some good eyes, obviously, to be able to see things from the coaching perspective. Had a long week here at Samstown for the Super Seniors, USBC members aged 60 and older, competing over 2 days, 184 entries. They bowled 12 games of qualifying, 6 games each day. We cut the field then from the 184 to 46 cashers, so 1 and 4 to the cashers round, 6 more games, and 18-game pinfall totals determined the top 12 who went on to round-robin match play. And that's where it got interesting. Let's take a look here at Hapes looking to double up here to start the match against Nelson. And the 9 won't go. Great shot there. His wife, Jerry Hapes, you're going to hear her throughout the match, yelling at the pins and doing what she can. But to get to this point, once we got to match play, we split the qualifiers into 2 groups, Group A and Group B. And essentially the odds went one way and the evens went the other. So the odd number qualifiers went to Group A, evens to B, and they bowled 5 games of round-robin match play plus a position round. So at that point, any of those 6 players had a chance to win this event, and the way that it worked was after match play, holy moly.
Hapes by the 9-pin.
Uncharacteristic miscue by the veteran. Misses the 9, so an opportunity here for Nelson to take the advantage.
Fresh oil, just threw it right through the break and flagged the 9-pin.
All right, so to get to this point, again, in match play, they bowled, and their 24 game totals plus bonus pins for each match won got them to either the group step ladder or, in that case, the leader of each group after match play earned an automatic spot in our championship round here. So Mike Diaz had the highest pinfall total with bonus pins, 57-18. He edged out Marc Williams. So Diaz goes in as the number 1 seed. Williams automatically number 2. And then the 2, 3, and 4 qualifiers in each group then bowled a group stepladder this morning.
Nelson by the 10-pin. 2 unforced errors early in this match.
So both Nelson and Hapes advanced through those group step ladders. They won their step ladders, and we'll get you the rundown of those matches as things unfold a little bit here. But now they are meeting up by virtue of winning those group step ladders. They earned spots now in the championship round, the opportunity to bowl each other coming from different groups, and then the chance to advance up the step ladder to win the $8,500 top prize here. And we saw Nelson started his 2 matches earlier, had the front 6 in one, front 5 in the other. He struck a lot this week, but as you can see, in this case, spare shooting should be always the difference. Of course, you get lined up, your strikes will come, but you got to be able to get those spares, especially single pins.
Well, and he started with at least the first 5 in his last 2 matches.
So to get here in our group step ladders this morning, in Group B, it was Nelson over Patrick Patton, 255-227. Nelson went on to beat our defending champion, the local standout Ron Moore, 234-224. Struck on his first shot in the 10th frame to get past the defending champ and deny him a third opportunity to reach the title match here consecutively at Samstown. And for Hafes, it was a 204-182 win over the legend Harry Sullins, and then he went on to beat super left-hander Skip Pavone, 235-214. So now here we are setting up that meeting, and a carry so far in our championship round. Kind of different than we've seen this week. We saw some very good carry, a lot of strikes. Took an average of 208 to make the cashers round, and a couple of bowlers throughout the week. Solid 230 averages, and tossed a lot of strikes, but under the TV lights here, so to speak, things a little bit different.
Well, and this being the 4th or 5th application of the pattern, I would think, on this pair, they tend to get a little tighter and tend to squeeze a little more, get the ball to turn the corner, a little harder to strike. Matt, before we go too far off the format, I'd like to point out that you explained all that with no notes, which is very impressive.
Well, it has been an entertaining couple days. This is a format we used for a while on the PWBA tour, a way to keep things interesting throughout. And as you saw firsthand yesterday, we had, again, 2 groups of 6 in match play, and 11 of the 12 players going into the position round had a chance to at least make the group step ladder and have a chance to bowl for the title. In your group, it was 9 pins separating 4th and 6th place. So even just a tie, the bonus pins, a huge difference there. A little bit more separation in the other group, but really 11 players could have at least had a chance to get to the group step ladder, which keeps it exciting for the fans, assuming that they can follow what's happening, and for the players, that you're never out of it. So one big game, one win, one mistake, one great shot, and you're in it. You have a chance.
That's all you can ask.
And now both players throwing good shots. Again, carry and spare shooting, the difference here early. And for Nelson, we saw it right here on our featured pair yesterday, 19 and 20. He bowled, lost his final match, the position round to Patrick Patton. Patrick bowled very well, huge game. Not much Nelson could have done there for the win. He got just enough, but to our right, another match was going on with Chris Keene and Nick Morgan. And had Morgan got the first hit in the 10th and won that game. Oh my.
Mixer 7-10 for Nelson.
We have seen quite a few of those this week. So the light hits, 7-10s. All right, well.
He might have grabbed that one a little bit, pushed down the pattern a little bit. Tough break, though.
So in Nelson's emergence here into the championship round, he was essentially one shot away from being eliminated completely. Nick Morgan left a flat 10 on his first shot in the 10th, ended up losing that game to Chris Keene, 259-258. So had he won the match, the bonus pins would have been enough to push him past Warren Nelson, and we could be watching Nick Morgan right now. So Nelson took advantage of that, won 2 games this morning in the group step ladder to get here to the final 4. I'll see if he can continue to take advantage. Going to have to do some climbing here, as he's in a bit of a hole halfway through our first game.
Yeah, great format when after 24 games it comes down to 1 shot. That's all you can ask.
Here's Hayes, double here, really puts him in control.
Ran it out, dead flush. Great shot. Matt, we talked about this oil pattern. It's 41 feet with 26.1 mils of ice oil, 2.93 to 1 on the ratio. Played generally pretty straight, as you can see. Ben absolutely straight up between 5, 6, 7 there. Nelson looping it a little bit more. And on the left side, absolutely straight. The guy's going straight, right up 5, pretty much had the look.
All right, well, we do have one lefty in our championship round today. That is our top seed, Mike Diaz. So he will basically have a fresh landing condition outside of any practice shots he gets to throw. Could that work to his advantage or disadvantage? And a terrible break there for Benny now. 4-9, high flush, and
Returns the 7-10 break to Nelson.
we'll
He
see.
knew he got that left a little bit, but paid the price.
The three righties, one lefty could come into the discussion, as Marc Williams said yesterday. He didn't so much like the fresh. He found a way to attack it, had a huge block in match play to surge to the top of his group. But if he had a preference, it would be a lot of traffic. And he said that if they got enough practice on this pair and they had enough traffic, he felt like he could have the advantage. Once they start to open up a little bit, that's his wheelhouse. So now
He crushed it on the burn in the qualifying in his second block.
absolutely grinded it out on the fresh until he found the look. And he was kind of hoping that if they were able to break him down a little bit, and he said groove a shot was his description. Open up and he can slow wheel it. That's what he does. You gotta like his chances coming up next with the two righties before him. We will see which righty will meet him in the next match. We've got a close one here with a couple splits back and forth. Bruce, while we're here talking about Benny Hafes, we have to talk about the position round yesterday. Again, it was 9 pins separating 4th and 6th place, so any of you guys could have made it in. But in that position round, you did bowl Benny. He bowled 279, so he got those 79 pins plus the 30 bonus pins. He jumps into the 4th position to get into the group step ladder. So could have been you, it could have been Daryl Bauer at that point. Daryl shot 180. You had 230 in the loss.
How about a rolling 2-pin for Warren? Yeah, I got to confess I was a little bit running out of gas there. Tried to stoke up on cookies and muscle milk, but gave it all I had and just not quite enough. I ended up being 78 out of the number, which is, if I win that match, there's a 60-pin swing, and if I need another, maybe 10, right? But that wasn't where I lost it. I bowled Benny earlier. I shot 199. I opened in the 10th, and he doubled to beat me that match. That match right there, if I win that match, I make it. So lots of opportunities for me. Is nothing I could be really critical of except my own performance.
Benny tries to return the favor on the 2-pin, but it stands. Benny the Buzzsaw, that was quite a position around yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, he crushed it. Well, he's got this very nice shot. He just lays it off on the hold. He doesn't try to loop the lane. He really is playing it perfectly, and it gives him, I think, the most room of anybody out here, especially on the fresh.
Well, the format is set up to keep things exciting, and it was down to the very last frames. We already mentioned Nelson just squeaking by with the loss by Nick Morgan. And then for Mike Diaz, even though he was bowling down here on 21 and 2, Marc Williams was farther down, I think on 13 and 14. Diaz had to deliver the first strike in the 10th to stay ahead of Marc Williams for that number 1 seed. And of course, that's important. You always want to
By 5.
be guaranteed at least, second place. Great. One game for the title. Anything can happen, certainly. But to be in that position, and he knew it. He said he knew it. He needed for sure the first one. Wasn't sure if he needed to double or not. Got the first one, snuck past Williams by 5 pins. But again, we'll see how that plays into today. Williams, should he make the title match, will have an extra game of experience on this pair. Diaz will be coming in fresh on the fresh.
Another rolled 2-pin, this time for Hapes. Yeah, I think Mike, if you really had to describe who played him the best, clearly was Mike. High qualifier, gets behind it, almost rolls over the top of it. He gets such early roll, and absolutely split the 5 board on just about every shot. So just bowled great.
And over 24 games, things are going to come and go.
And Nelson.
10 pins are going to stand, 10 pins are going to fall. So you got to take advantage. Really, when you have it, when you find a pair that the ball's rolling well for you, you take advantage. You grind on the pairs that aren't so good for you. Make your spares. And then, as you said, Mike Diaz was solid on both the fresh and the burn. Struggled a little bit in the catcher's round. Figured it out, though. Really thought through it as a USBC Gold coach. He knows all the aspects.
That was his only glitch. And it could have been the pairs. Some of the pairs, The left lane would hook a little less, which was really a switch most of the time. The left lane would hook a little more. So it might have been just a pair-to-pair thing for him. So we have a one-pin match here, Matt. Warren up by 1, but with Benny Hafes on a strike.
Well, the fans are getting their money's worth here. Coming down to the foundation frame here.
Oh, he got that one way right. He gets it back. Listen to the crowd. He's like, what are you so surprised about?
Playing the crowd a little bit. Very nice. The showman.
I was amazed to see that back, to be honest. When he pitched it, the only thing he had going for him is that he threw it slow and he got a handful of it.
Yeah, we saw Ron Moore threw a couple this week that I thought they would never make it back, and he willed them and wheeled them to the left, and they made the turn. And I think there's a spot down lane where if you get it there, we saw that. Now pressure's on for Hayes. He cannot block out Warren Nelson here. He can shoot 214.
Well, that's another component of the fresh, too. The back ends get cleaned each time, too. So you get it out there, you get those nice clean back ends, the ball picks up, maybe you get it back. But I think if he tried that again, he should not ever expect that to come back again from there.
Well, and that was some poor math on my part there. Actually, he could have ended this by shooting 214. Warren Nelson only can shoot 205.
And now it's still one pin, though.
And now we're back to a match.
Yep. Problem on the 4-pin for Hafes.
So now Benny will step up. 10th frame, he can shoot 194. Nelson must strike in that situation. Best he can shoot 205. Sometimes I babble so much about other things, lose sight of what's on the scoreboard. That's the important part.
Didn't get that one to recover. He pushed it a little bit, 2-4. But huge count difference there. He was only down 1, now down 3. So that's going to mean Warren only has to show up and pretty much any mark.
Well, so
Yeah,
we've seen this match. No spare a gimme for sure.
No, absolutely not. Not on the fresh and under this pressure. Oh, covers it though. Very important for Hafes to get 10 here. Yeah, we find ourselves doing math all the time. I live stream out of New England, and half the time is spent counting the scoreboard, trying to figure out what people can shoot and what their max score is and what the match is looking like, and I miss it quite a bit myself.
All right, so Benny, 182. Then a clean frame with good count will do it
Nice
for
release
Nelson.
there. Flat 10 though.
181. Final score. Spare strike gives Nelson a 185, but definitely, absolutely has to have a mark here.
Give it to him.
And that's the way to do it. Take the spare shooting out of it, get a strike, deliver. And that is going to be enough. Or Nelson will advance to face Marc Williams, our number 2 seed. Great week for Benny. Looking up at the scoreboard with Jerry.
Getting some consolation from Jerry. She was his biggest cheerleader all week. It's great to see.
So missed single pin, and then the 4-9
Yeah.
in the 6th frame. Did the deed.
Good time for that.
Nelson will squeak this one out. He had a missed single pin and a 7-10 in this match, so it really just came down to carry late in the match, or early in the match, depending on how you look at it.
Lack of carry.
Nelson will mentally regroup here as he gets ready for the PBA Hall of Famer to come our way.
I don't think he'll have an easy time of it coming up with Marc Williams.
All right, that's Tournament Director Greg Moore, USBC's Senior Director of Tournament Planning, running the show here this week at the 2018 Super Senior Classic. My name is Matt Cannizzaro for USBC and BowlTV, alongside Super Senior left-hander Bruce Hall, coming from the Massachusetts area. Did some live streaming for the NEBA tournaments, so very knowledgeable both in front of and behind the cameras here. A lot of great insight about what he saw this week on this 41-foot oil pattern here at Samstown. And we are getting a little bit closer to determining our champion for the 2018 Super Senior Classic, whose banner will be added to the collection. 2013, it was Kerry Painter. 2014, Jim Knoblah. Both of those events held at the ITRC International Training and Research Center in Arlington, Texas. 2015 in Green Bay, Sam Macarone. And our last 2 years here, Junichi Yajima from Japan and Ron Moore from North Las Vegas. Those two battled in the last two title matches, so we'll see a new champion and a new title match here in 2018. Who will it be? Remaining competitors, Marc Williams, PBA Hall of Famer, will take on Warren Nelson, who just defeated Benny Hayes in our opening match. The winner there will meet the lone left-hander in our stepladder, Mike Diaz, the top seed. And it was an exciting 24 games that got us to this point, plus our group stepladder this morning. Looking forward to 2 more great matches. Let us know who you think is going to win. Drop your answer in the comment box there to the right of your video window. I do appreciate everybody joining us here at Samstown from Las Vegas. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, BowlTV, so that you will not be left out next time we are on the air, which will be happening every day for the rest of the week, actually. Tomorrow's practice day for the Senior Masters. Then we'll get into that. 3 days of qualifying. And then our double elimination match play bracket coming up. We'll crown that champion next weekend here on BowlTV as well. And if you're enjoying the coverage of the Super Senior Classic, please give us a thumbs up there below your video window too. Those numbers first let us know, hopefully, that we're doing a good job, and 2, that people actually enjoy watching the Super Senior Classic and any event that we're doing. So the numbers don't lie. We'll give the people what they want. And all that support means we'll be back next year to do it again. So let us know what you think, and we appreciate it. We appreciate you being here. We'll have our next match coming up in just a couple of minutes. And we'll take an opportunity, too, to thank our sponsor here at Samstown, and, of course, Kegel, our official lane maintenance provider, for doing what those folks do for all of our events. Again, this week featuring Kegel Ice Oil on a 41-foot oil pattern. And Kegel Ice came out in 2013, and just as a more durable oil. That way the pattern could stand up a little bit longer, less transition, slower transition, so it stays truer longer. And, of course, always looking for a way to put out a pattern that never changes. Who knows how far down the road that might be.
They were very, very similar from A to B squad, Matt. Certainly that was the ice oil. And that same year, I believe they came out with fire. And you might expect that to burn up quicker, and that's exactly what it does. So they're very appropriately named, those two oils.
Ice oil, yes, very, very slick and durable. The fire, similar, but does break down and hook a little bit more. So we saw those featured at the USBC Open and Women's Championships starting in 2013, just as a way to showcase those products and really get an idea of what they do. So.
And they've since kind of split the difference between those two with both curve and current oils. And I think the curve oil was more to kind of fill in the traces left by the balls as they would go over it, so that the pattern truly would be would burn less even than the ice. Well, we're getting our first answer on Williams here. Wait a second.
Rest of your seat, Mr. Williams has choice of starting late. He has to allow Mr. Nelson to begin the match. Mr. Nelson. Ready to begin. Match 2 edition 2018 USBC Super Senior Classic.
All right, we'll get our scoreboards back up, and the way that it works, start first, finish last is how it goes. So Mark has elected for Warren Nelson to start the match. Therefore, all the pressure will be on Warren Nelson in the 10th frame should it come down to that. And he's going with the light mixer again.
That's how he started last match.
The 7 won't go. We saw some carry troubles in that match against Benny Hayes for both players and a couple splits that made it very close down to the final frames. Somebody has to find a way to throw 3 or 4 strikes in a row, and that could be the difference.
Well, watching Mark practice, we were talking about how much of a burn spot he might be able to create. There isn't much of one. He's pretty far right. And Nelson just barely ekes out that 7-pin. So Mark is, I think, further right than he's comfortable, but never count him out with his great speed control.
All right, here's your first look at the PBA Hall of Famer.
Dead flush, of course.
We saw Mark on our featured pair yesterday, gave him a hard time. He, on one of his fill balls, just threw it straight in the ditch. And just put his normal Marc Williams angry scowl and packed up his bag and went on to the next pair and threw the front 8. So we got a good laugh at that later in the day, and then he really crushed him in match play. He had the highest block, 1448, of all the competitors, all 12. And just came within 1 shot of being the #1 seed for today's show.
Well, my only win was against Mark. Started off well against him, but he found a way to come back and whack him the next 5.
Well, he's 2 for 2 here on our TV pair and doing a little bit of the slow wheel. Warren Nelson a little more direct.
Great shot for Nelson there. I think he has moved right, Nelson. A little less loop, a little straighter up at him. You didn't see anybody throwing anything pin up or shiny or anything that was going to skid flip. Everybody's looking for a turn. Really, you need the ball to be reacting before it leaves the pattern. So even for 41 feet, you know, your break point had to begin at 35, 36 feet at the latest. So you're really still in the oil. So the question is, what can you throw that will react and start coming up to the pocket at that point on the lane?
Tough spare here for Warren Nelson. The 2-8 again. Always glad when the 10 goes. But you can't give too much to Marc Williams, especially when he's already out to the lead with a double.
Oh, good mitt full of that one. Got it off the corner. Good spare for Nelson. I think these two guys are in exactly the same spot on the lane. Mark's got the great slow roll speed control, though. Hold off. Oh yeah, got that one to lay off.
Through 18 games, Marc Williams averaged 231.94 to get to the #3 spot, heading into match play. And Warren Nelson was hanging around all week as well. He was at 227.83 in 6th place. So again, we cut the field down from 184 down to 46, and then 46 down to 12 for round robin match play.
Did flush that one.
So each group got to see the fresh and the burn in qualifying, 6 games on each. And then fresh for the cashers round. And for Marc Williams, we mentioned it earlier, he struggled by his standards and by some on the fresh. See if we can take a look exactly.
Yeah, we were both on A, so the first day he was definitely out of the cut.
So
Shot 200. What?
He's,
The second day?
Mark was 113 over on the fresh on first day,
Oh, he was in the cut. Sorry.
and then 241 over
Yeah, hello.
on the burn, which is
Yeah.
again, but he was able to figure out the right ball surfaces for the fresh and bowled very well the rest of the way, and that's why he is the number 2 seed here for the finals. So again, as we mentioned, his goal today was to break the pattern down as much as possible during practice and during these matches. He felt that would play to his advantage more than if he had to come and attack the fresh.
And I think that's happened very little, but it doesn't matter. He's more direct, I think, than he wanted to be, but he's making it work with the front 4.
Nelson will take a breather and a re-rack there. 1 strike through 4 frames. Williams perfect, 4 for 4.
And a 31-pin lead for Mark. Right behind that one. Oh, it's a great shot. I think he expected that one to go. No grab on that one at all. Right behind it, early roll. Looked pretty good.
So that hole getting a little bit deeper for Mr. Nelson. He's got 1 ball in the rack, not sure what it is exactly, and now
Flags the 10-pin. He doesn't use a spare ball. He just went flat with his hand, but it went straight to the gutter. Didn't hook an inch. Trouble now for Nelson.
Williams, 7-time PBA Tour champion, 3-time Senior Tour winner, a couple majors. He knows how to throw the big shots, and there's one more.
Oh, but a leaner 10.
He wasted no time getting up there. He knew the situation, and as long as he keeps striking, there's nothing Mr. Nelson can do.
A 53-pin lead for Marc Williams after 5.
Can he stay perfect? 6 for 6.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
he can.
That will just about end the discussion.
Marc Williams turned 60 in January. This is his first opportunity to bowl in the Super Senior Classic, and I joked around with him. We've known each other for quite some time and bowl against each other in the Southwest region. I feel like he's been around so long. I could have sworn he was well over 60, and we've done this for a few years already. But first timer, him and Diaz, both first time participants here at the Super Senior, and looks like they're gonna bowl for the title if things keep going how they're going through 6 frames.
So Michael Haugen comes out Florida on the senior tour last year, and people are looking at him and they're saying, "You're 50?" And I feel the same thing about Marc Williams. I said, have I pointed out the relative unfairness of the fact that you are now 60?
All right, folks. Marc Williams stepping up now. Nelson able to double. Williams perfect through 6. And if you're just joining us, my name is Matt Cannizzaro. Continued coverage of the 2018 Super Senior Classic alongside fellow left-hander Bruce Hall, who bowled this week, and is here to offer some insight from his experience while we watch the final couple of matches here. Marc Williams, ring 10, so ends his string at 6, but still well in control here against Warren Nelson.
Nelson can go out for 237, Mark at a 249 pace right now. And Mark wastes no time, just gets up there and let it fly. Yeah, it would be interesting to see some topography in this center. As I would get to some pairs and the left lane would be tighter, and other pairs the right lane would be tighter, and I hit 5 and 6 and couldn't get either one of them to turn off the corner. It'd be interesting to see how the place breaks down, like most centers do.
All right, back-to-back 10 pins for the Hall of Famer. He's thinking. You can see the wheels turning. Like, how do we stop this from happening? Single pin spares are not going to get the job done against Mike Diaz. So, what's happening on the lane right now? What do I need to change? Is it a ball thing? When do I try another ball?
Well, I think what you see a lot is that the people talk about carry down, and with all the flare on the balls, there's not so much carry down, except it's more the heads go in the front. And sometimes you'll see the ball have a little bit of reaction before it even comes into your field of view. You know, so it burns a little bit of energy right away before it gets to the arrows, flat tap. So now you move off that right maybe a little bit, then it maybe hooks a little early. So you can get some strange reads right in this transition period because of what the heads do. Great shot. Nelson can get to 237. He can put some pressure on Marc.
And outside of that third frame, 2-8, Nelson in and around the pocket, just things not falling his way. The swish 7 in the first frame, but working on 3 in a row. Again, as you said, putting some pressure on Marc Williams.
Going to get this one back. Oh, he's got that recovery out there. That ball was out to 2 or 3. Got it back. Great shot. I think that 10 pin's going to come back to haunt him.
So Williams ready to step up and end this. Again, he chose to finish the match first. And if we just end it here, both the 9th and 10th right now.
Oh, yeah. Trying to see if he moved off those 10 pins, maybe a tad right, a little straighter. My adjustments here would be half board at the most. If I saw a wrap or something I didn't like, it would never be a full board. It would be just a half board or little, just minor things. Oh yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah. He knew it too. He wasn't taking this match for granted.
Marc Williams now able to show a little bit of emotion. Slap that one out. Smile and a thumbs up.
So who are people picking to win?
We had very few responses on the request. We can definitely try again now as we get ready for our championship match. It's going to be the Hall of Famer Marc Williams taking on USBC Gold Coach Mike Diaz in the battle of the first timers. So Marc will be in the 250s, 257 with the spare here. Nelson will finish things out. And we'll get ready for the title tilt here at Sam's Town Bowling Center 2018 Super Senior Classic. Matt Cannizzaro alongside Bruce Hall. Coming up in just a minute, Marc Williams, Mike Diaz.
It's going to be a great match.
If you do have a prediction, we've got the lefty-righty. Go ahead and drop your answer in the chat. Tell us who you think's going to win. I'll be even more impressed if you can guess the final score. So things coming together for Warren Nelson. Just a couple frames too late here. Had the single pin miss, and in the end, that would have helped add the pressure for Marc Williams, but we're about to have ourselves a 257, 237 semifinal match if you can get all 10 here.
So you talk about the final score, and great performance by Warren this week. Boy, he made the most of his qualifying, didn't he? So you talk about the final score, Matt. You got to ask: is the 190 to 180 match going to show up, or the 250 to 230 match going to show up? They seem to be either one or the other.
Well, Williams was dead flush every shot, and a couple 10 pins slowed his roll there a little bit. Mike Diaz walking into a fresh condition outside of the few practice shots he's thrown already. So again, he 2 out of 3 blocks on the fresh. He bowled well. So we'll see. Marc Williams is going to throw a couple warm-up shots on the other lane, and it should be interesting.
And Mike was only 5 pins difference in qualifying between the fresh and the burn.
All right. Warren Nelson wants to say hello to his brother Carl in Georgia. So hopefully Carl tuning in to watch the great action today. Mr. Nelson bowled very well this week. Took advantage of opportunities as they came through a ton of strikes. Should be very proud of a 3rd place finish here at the Super Senior Classic. And we'll get ready to settle in here for our championship match. A few shots here from Mike Diaz. Marc Williams will head back over. The title tilt coming up in just a minute. Matt Kanazawa, Bruce Hall, Samstown Bowling Center 2018 Super Senior Classic. Folks, we'll be right back with the title match.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your final match in the 2018 Super Senior Classic. Mr. Diaz has the top seed as selected. Mr. Williams to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please, one last reminder, please set your cell phones in silent mode and remember the flash photography. John, when the arrows are up, you have the full back. Bracket, the lanes are yours. Good luck and good bowling.
All right, folks, it's title time at Samstown Bowling Center here in Las Vegas. The 2018 Super Senior Classic coming to a close here. Final match, left-hander Mike Diaz taking on the righty PBA Hall of Famer Marc Williams. 2 first-timers. What a way to celebrate your debut at the SSC with a championship, $8,500 on the line. Marc Williams opened with a strike. Mike Diaz trying to match, and he does. So I think we're going to see that high-scoring match that we talked about. Again, the difference here is going to be a ring 10 or a ring 7 or something of that nature. Maybe somebody gets a little bit slow and 4-9, 6-8. But these two gentlemen are going to be lined up. And Bruce, I know you had some thoughts and possibly a prediction.
Well, originally I was thinking Marc, if he could carve enough of a swing spot, because he's a lot happier deeper throwing out to it, but he's been forced to go right and pipe 6, 7, 8 pretty much straight up, and Mike's been playing this dead nuts up 5 all week, and this is exactly where he is, and I think it's his comfort zone. He's got angle into the pocket, so I like Mike right now. And as you said, I think it's going to come down to a wrap or two. And you saw Diaz dead flush, just his pocket angle is fantastic.
All right, both of these gentlemen very experienced. Marc Williams gained 7 PBA Tour titles, 3 Senior Tour titles, a couple majors. Diaz, 2-time winner on the PBA 50 Tour, and he is a USBC Gold Coach. Spends his time paying it forward a little bit, and there's that wrap 10.
Your first 10 pin. You know, I heard a great analogy this week about a Gold Coach. It's the equivalent of a PhD, and I believe that.
Had a nice little feature on Diaz after the second round when he was our overall leader. Got to sit down and talk with him, just kind of how he was seeing things, because he's definitely a thinker. And it worked yesterday when he struggled a little bit in the Cashers round and figured it out, put the pieces back in place for match play, and had some big games, and was able to climb back from, he was in 4th position going into match play and ended up taking the #1 seat. So Marc Williams, thinking things through in a different way, was able to work on his ball surfaces and conquer the fresh to get in his position. So both these guys have long careers in the sport.
See, and now Marc's fighting the over-under, I'll call it. Tried to get that one a little slower, reads, try to compensate for the flat 10, 4-pin. Where Mike has none of that. He just splits 5, and that's the end of that.
And Marc had a seemingly limited arsenal this week. Had a couple variations of the same ball that he really likes, and threw a lot of strikes when he needed to. Made his spares, and here we are again. The players got to see the fresh and the burn in qualifying, which is great. Obviously, equal opportunity there if you prefer one over the other. And then Diaz through qualifying was pretty much dead even. Shot 14.39 and 14.34 respectively, and had a pretty good look. And for him, it was just a matter of adjusting speed more than anything. And now he's 3 for 3 here in our championship match. And as you get closer to the end of the block, amp that speed up. And he said it maybe a mile and a half per hour, and you don't need to change too much. You want to stay where you are, of course, if you got a good angle. Why mess with it? And if you're able to change your speeds rather than have to change equipment or move around too much, stay with what works.
Well, you mentioned those 2 balls for Marc. One of them has about a 6-inch pin, and he could only use it when he could move in and swing, which is what he used to crush him on the burn that time, the second round.
Here's Diaz now, 3 for 3 and 4 for 4.
Nuts, just dead nuts. And his release is so perfect for this because he's almost over the top behind it, so it just starts rolling, and break point's perfect, reads the lane perfect, splits 5, just everything working for Mike.
So Marc Williams, 10-pin on the right lane, 4-pin on the left. He's in a little bit of trouble here.
Slap 10.
So in the last match, it was the opposite. It was Marc Williams who started the game with a string of strikes, and Warren Nelson, who was in the pocket and just couldn't get all 10 down. He eventually came on strong late in the match, only to a 2:37 finish, but kind of once you're out, the pins seem to fall at that point too. But here's Williams trying to keep it close here and double up.
Gotta come back. He gets the kick. Needed that. He was down 31, now down 21 to Mike. That's that speed control that Marc has. He's got such feel at the line. He never tries to overpower the lane. He always just has the nice soft look at the bottom. All that experience. Just a pleasure to watch.
All right. So as a left-hander, I feel like I've learned a few things this week, and I'm learning a few more right now watching Mike Diaz, and even talking to Marc and his ability to adapt the way that he did. Always thinking, and that one
High.
it looked like left early, and it checked up.
Now that's the tighter lane, so he's probably a half board left with his feet maybe on that lane, and you kind of expect a little bit of push, so it might have surprised him a little. Marc needed that break. Can get him back in the match with another double here.
All right, definitely a nice crowd here at Sam's Town. Both sets of bleachers are full for the finals, which means either somebody did a good job of letting people know, or they're all here to open bowl and they're just patiently waiting for us to get done.
No. I tell you, this place runs like clockwork. You know, very few machine issues, and anything you had was attended to right away. Did a great job with the center. Tournament runs, you just don't even know the tournament's being run. Just a great event. You got that one right. The hell, Briar Lane. He's looking at it. He knows. That hit at least 6.5, and it just set up for him.
All right, so Diaz, the last one got left a little bit early, checked up. That one gets it in and holds, so it kind of evens things up there. Lightens the mood.
Those two shots behaved differently than I understood how this pair played. So that was, maybe there's something going on. Oh, dead flat 10. Back to a 21 pin lead for Mike Diaz.
Also starting to see some of our celebrity senior players make their way into town for the Senior Masters. Looks like Brian Goebel down yonder watching some of the action. No doubt him and Marco way back on the PBA Tour.
Saw my friend Mark McCreary from the Bay Area. I lived in the Bay Area before I moved back to Massachusetts, so I got a lot of friends out there. George Abood, Mark McCreary, Skip, Dennis Jones. Great seeing him this week.
All right, here's Williams down 21 at the halfway point. Get back on track. Diaz. Couple of release mistakes, but other than that, perfect.
Shot. Yeah. Oh. Wow. I think he expected that to go like the last one did on that lane. Maybe just a touch fast. That's all it takes. Diaz in the driver's seat now.
Don't want to play mind reader on the result there, but I probably have a pretty good idea what Marc Williams was saying in his head after that one didn't carry.
Being from Texas.
All right, Diaz up 20 plus and stepping up here for a couple of big shots in the 7th and 8th frame. Got the scores there on your video window, so nothing that you don't already know.
Crispy. Oh yeah. He knew it was good.
That was where he wanted it. Kind of a mix between the last two shots. So
He got through it good. He just needs to have that release that it's behind it, so it's rolling early, but you still have to project. If you do that, the whole lane opens up. As long as you get through it, you get it to the mid lane, you have well enough area.
So Diaz 6 out of 7 here. Difference
Just perfect.
7 out of 8. Only hole there was a 6-pin in the 5th frame. Not much Marc Williams can do. Just needs to strike and keep it close and see what happens those final 2 frames. Diaz is going to finish first, so we could see him put the finishing touches for sure.
Well, just like the other Warren Nelson match, Marc 237 maximum and Diaz at a 249 pace already. And another flat 10.
So back-to-back flat dimes for Williams on that right lane, and we kind of knew both players were going to be lined up, and it would come down to carry. Those last two just a little bit lazy down lane.
Fighting the transition a little bit. Well, Mike Diaz, your qualifying leader, your #1 seed, and in control here.
Ninth frame for Williams. He can get to 226.
It's not going to do it, I don't think.
That one kind of a lazy mixer. So Mike Diaz's event to wrap up right now. After this, we'll get some championship photos. Maybe get a few words with the winner if we can pull that off before it's time to get off the air here. Let's see, Mike Diaz, 9th frame, working on a 3-bagger now. 279 max score.
Perfect. Oh, he knew it.
There it is.
Victory lap. It's nice when you don't even have to bowl in the 10th frame.
So we'll try a little bit different of a view here. See what we can do. We'll have, see if we can work the camera a little bit.
Get a reaction shot.
Some shoddy camera work at best.
Thursday for our 37th anniversary. Thank you, James, Alex, and Lisa. Good support from great friends like Ron Moore. Lets me crash this place. I gotta buy him dinner though. That's the good part of this. But yeah, I just can't thank everybody enough. Special thanks goes out to Dean Hinnitz for giving me a little mental game workout a couple weeks ago at the training center. And thanks a lot.
Congratulations, Mike. Congratulations to all our contestants. Sounds like two things. One, there'll be a banner next year that you can hang at Ron's house. More importantly, it sounds like perhaps the anniversary present got a little bit larger. So, congratulations to everybody, folks. Don't miss the Senior Masters, which will start with practice on Monday and competition on Tuesday. About 100 players from this event right here will be competing in the Senior Masters. So come back, check out all your favorites. Good luck to everyone that will be in it. Mike, again, congratulations on behalf of the USBC.
One last thing, I gotta thank the people that make this, other people that make this possible, Storm Products, for giving me the best products available to bowl with, and Vice Inserts for the great products for a great fit. Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, we got the audio situation there on that super special extra camera angle, and unfortunately, you got to see it but didn't hear it. But now we should be all set. We do appreciate everybody tuning in. There's always something, Bruce. That's the nature of the beast here. You know, we survived. It was good. A couple great matches there. Very exciting finish for the Super Senior Classic. Mike Diaz, what a hard-fought win. Marc Williams, excellent event as well. To all of our competitors, all 184, we appreciate all of you guys coming to join us here at this event, and of course everybody watching at home all week long. We will be back this week for the Senior Masters, a whole new crop of 300 or so competitors. Looking forward to it here on BowlTV. Again, thank you for tuning in. We almost made it through without any glitches, but very proud of everything today, and it went smooth. And Greg Moore, the staff here, Tom, everybody at Samstown, Kegel, just a very memorable week here. We're looking forward to the next event, folks. That is going to do it for today's coverage of the Super Senior Classic. Mike Diaz, your 2018 champion. He'll get his banner, and now some great confidence going into the Senior Masters. Bruce Hall, any last words before we go?
Just great events. Great to see Mike win, dominant from really wire to wire. If you think about high qualifier and then high seed, and then wins with 279. So congratulations to Mike, and a pleasure watching you work as a live streamer. I know how these glitches go. I watched you the first 5 minutes before we started. We're playing with things, and so congratulations on another great telecast. Thank you, Matt.
All right, sir. Thank you for the kind words. Thanks for joining us. All the insight today. We do appreciate it. Again, thanks to everybody. That is going to do it from Samstown Bowling Center for today. We'll be back in a couple days. Senior Masters gets underway. And what else is there to say besides that is the news for now, folks. We'll see you on the lanes. Matt Kenizawa and Bruce Hall. See you next time.